نبدأ.
نعم.
الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام رسول الله وعلى آله وأصحابه ومن سار سبيله إلى يوم الدين أما بعد. So as we continue discussing the book Al-Mukhtasar Sahih Bukhari rahimahullah by Al-Zubaydi rahimahullah, and as we sometimes before we start discussing the hadith that I mentioned here in this Mukhtasar, in this summary, there are times that we might mention something relating to Al-Bukhari and Kutub Sahih. So as for today, inshallah ta'ala, that we'll mention, as we had stated, maybe I've stated before, that Imam Bukhari rahimahullah and also added Imam Muslim rahimahullah, that their book, they stand out. One of the reasons being that of the condition that they place regarding their book. So regarding each musannif, each author, regarding in any book, that they will have certain criteria, certain condition that they will lay regarding the book that they are putting together. So that was the case regarding Imam Bukhari and also Imam Muslim rahimahullah, that regarding their book, that they put certain conditions that they add in place regarding their book. So of those conditions is that whatever hadith that is marfu, going back to the Prophet ﷺ, that they made a condition that hadith is all authentic. So all the hadith that goes back to the Prophet ﷺ, that of the condition that they state, that is a hadith that they will mention in their book, that they are all a hadith that are authentic. So by this, so they put that condition, and also regarding the level of authenticity was also of the highest level. So also of a high level, so authentic, yes, but also to the most highest of level. So based upon this, their books somewhat stand out compared to others of books of hadith. So as we mentioned, so of those who add those condition or criteria, that whatever is mentioned or collected in their collection, in their book, that of the condition that they should be hadith that are only authentic. Of those condition, Bukhari and Muslim add those, and they refer to as Sahihain. So due to this, that they refer to as Sahihain, that the two authentic collection. So as we had mentioned, or I've stated before, that we had other of the ulama of hadith who came after them, Bukhari and Muslim, and also somewhat put a similar condition to their work. Clear? So of those, so we'll find that so others, so as a condition that everything that is collected in this book, that they're all authentic. Others also who follow the example of Bukhari and Muslim. So others who came after, then also they adopted the same criteria, that whatever they mention in their book would be authentic. So of those books that are available, now of those that are available that they mention, you have of those books, we have this one that is called Sahih ibn Khuzaymah. Now Sahih ibn Khuzaymah. So the book, you have different print. They have different prints of the book. So this book, it is known as Sahih ibn Khuzaymah, even though that's not the name of the book, the actual name that the author gave his book, but is referred to as Sahih ibn Khuzaymah, as it's written by, as they mentioned, Ibn Khuzaymah. He said to be Imam al-A'imma. He's given that title, Imam al-A'imma. So he is the Imam of the A'imma. Nam. So he wrote this book that is called, that is referred to as Sahih ibn Khuzaymah, where of the condition that whatever is mentioned in this book, in this collection, it's all authentic. It's all authentic. With this print, Ibn Khuzaymah rahimahullah, he died the year 311. He died the year 311. So that you know, his book is so this book is just a portion of what he collects. It's not the full book that he wrote. We only have a portion, or what I've read us today is only a portion of it. So it's in of the early prints, this print is in 4 volumes. Of those who did some work on it is a Sheikh Dr. Muhammad Mustafa Al-A'zami. Nam, so rahimahullah, so he kind of somewhat published his book, and also Sheikh Al-Bani rahimahullah also adds some footnotes to the book. So 2 work on the book, the main person, Al-A'zami, and the second Sheikh Muhammad Nasiruddin Al-Albani rahimahullah adds some footnotes and so on to this book. So this book said, since they have wrote this book, you have others who came and did also work on this book. We did mention that there were some errors in this particular print, in this publication. So they kind of somewhat came and tried to correct some of those errors and the checking of this book. So that also it shows regarding concern that this method regarding concerning Imam Bukhari and Muslim, that others who came along kind of somewhat follow their example. So amongst them Ibn Khuzaymah rahimahullah. Also Ibn Khuzaymah, that is a famous book that is said to be a part of this collection. So this book, it is written, or the structure of the book, or it is organized by way of Abwab al-Fiqhiyya. So it is organized by way of Abwab al-Fiqhiyya. So it discusses concerning Tahara, matters relating, then matters regarding Tahara, the matters regarding salat with that format. So a portion have reached us. Also of this book, another that Ibn Hajar and others mentioned that Ibn Khuzaymah rahimahullah, he has a book called Kitab al-Tawheed. He has a book called Kitab al-Tawheed by Ibn Khuzaymah. They said Kitab al-Tawheed is a book regarding Aqidah. They say it's a part of this book. So even though most prints, they'll put them separate. So most print, they'll have this one as by itself on its own, and the book Kitab al-Tawheed by Ibn Khuzaymah is published separate. So even though both mention it, they are one of the same. So that's one of those who did some work regarding, as we mentioned, trying to collect books that are only ahadith, that are only authentic. Only ahadith that are authentic. Another work of this is the book that is called Sahih, or referred to, we use the word referred to as Sahih ibn Hibban. Sahih ibn Hibban. So Ibn Hibban rahimahullah, that he died 354. He died the year 354 al-Hijri. So he came after A'immatul Kutub Sitta. So again said that of the aim of his book, of the goal, the objective of his book was to collect a hadith which is only authentic. That Ibn Hibban rahimahullah, that he mentioned that he can somewhat put this book, this work together, that based upon he said that a lot of people that during his time, that's what said in the 4th century. Now, he's in the 4th century Hijri. That he found that a lot of people were somewhat not using a hadith that are authentic, and using hadith that are said to be weak and mawdu'. So he wanted to put a book together, kind of somewhat to collect only a hadith that are authentic. Now, he even said that Bukhari, Muslim and others preceded him, but also he wanted to add to this. So Ibn Hibban rahimahullah, he put this work together. So this is the original book with the original title that he wrote. Now, it is called, they said, Al-Musnad As-Sahih Fi At-Taqasim Wal-Anwa. That name is somewhat, Al-Musnad As-Sahih is known. Now, but Taqasim Wal-Anwa, what does he mean? So that's not per se. So the book, though how it is organized, is difficult. The book, how it is organized regarding how the layout of the book is very difficult to use. Now, Ibn Hibban, of those of the ulama who said that he wanted, regarding books of hadith, that his work was also, he wanted students who would put effort regarding using of this book. He didn't want to make things easy for people. So he wanted a person to exercise some effort regarding how you use his book. So he said that the style is very difficult to use. So he mentioned taqasim. So he put things into different categories. Then in that category, put them into different subcategories. But we said in long term, it's a very difficult work to use, book to use regarding this particular book of Ibn Khuzaymah rahimahullah. So it's not structured in the normal style of either based upon each sahabi or based upon abwab al-fiqhiyah. Is not on that method. It's a completely different method that he put together.
Would you say it's for the like higher level people of studying? Like it's not just for it's for advanced learning kind of thing.
No, in the sense of that the hadith are somewhat, the hadith are a hadith, but the way the book is, we said it's not the layout of the book. That becomes a task. Is not as, you don't find the hadith as easily or in the place that you think it would be. So he doesn't follow the norm of how books are structured. He comes with a complete different system. So another scholar came after, and the book is titled Sahih ibn Hibban Bitartib ibn Balban. So Ibn Balban, he came and he reorganized the book. Because we said the original work, this original one, is difficult to use. Is difficult to find the hadith. So to make it more simple, more of the standard that is well known and used, that Ibn Balban, he came and he restructured the book. Type of thing to make it more easier for people to make use. So this book, it's of how many volumes? 18 volumes. It's the last one that I brought. It's in the library. So this book is of 18 volumes. Show the concern that he caught that 18 118 volumes, if I made a mistake. So it shows regarding concern there's many hadith that are mentioned. So some of those hadith that so many hadith, and you find a lot of those hadith also in Bukhari and Muslim. But a general thing that this of those works that the idea of the author is to mention only hadith that are authentic, that are either then just that work that Ibn Hibban was someone to say to be of those ulama that was very mutasahil, at times can be of those who are not that as stern regarding his grading of hadith. So you might find hadith, even though he mentioned hadith are authentic, but that may not be the case for some of the hadith in the book, because he was of those mutasahil, of those who were somewhat a little more relaxed regarding a judgment on hadith. And the ulama of hadith, and the ulama that I mentioned, jar wa ta'dil of hadith, they can be of three types. Those mutashaddid, those are very harsh and stern. So when they praise a person, then take it. When they speak against a person, then you have to kind of somewhat compare with others. Don't just take it just like that, because they're known to be what? Stern, harsh. So when they praise a person, then mashallah, the person must have very good qualities. But because of their sternness, that they can be quick to criticize. So when they criticize someone, they need to compare with others to see if things fall in line. So said Ibn Hibban, somewhat mutasahil, somewhat more relaxed regarding his judgment on hadith. As mentioned, there are another of those books is called Mustadrak. So this book is called Mustadrak Al-Sahih, or mentioned Al-Mustadrak al-Sahihain. So the author of this book was Al-Hakim An-Naysaburi. Al-Hakim An-Naysaburi, rahimahullah, who died 405. Hakim An-Naysaburi. It has many different prints, but this is one of the more recent of the prints of this book. So Al-Hakim, that his mindset and approach regarding compiling this book, that he mentioned a hadith, Mustadrak, that a hadith that he believed that were missed by Bukhari and Muslim, that are upon their condition, he's going to mention them. So hadith that Bukhari and Muslim that are according to him upon their condition, in line with their condition, but they did not mention them. So his job is, I'm going to bring those hadiths. So that's concerning Mustadrak. So he mentioned, so whatever you missed, I will now bring those things that you missed.
So what, Ibn Hibban, what you said he was 4th century?
Ibn Hibban?
He's 4th century.
Was that Ibn Hibban was said that he died? 3 what? 354.
354.
So that'll be 4th century. So we're on
5th century. Mustadrak is 5th century.
We 5th because he 405. Yeah. Then so with Al-Hakim, so Al-Hakim book is more of a direct relationship with Sahih, Al-Bukhari and Muslim. So either hadith that were missed, that either by both or by one of them that is in line with their condition, he would mention those hadith. He would now mention those hadith in this collection. And you have others who have done something similar. They mentioned that a hadith that they call them mustakhraj. So you have mustadrak and mustakhraj. Mustakhraj meaning that the same you mention that hadith with that wording, I'll bring the same hadith but with a different isnad. So the same hadith with the wording, the matan, that same text of the hadith wording, but I'll bring a different isnad. That is mustakhraj. So you have also mustakhraj upon Bukhari and Muslim. So others said, okay, Bukhari and Muslim, the hadith you mentioned, I'll bring a different isnad somewhat. We can somewhat converge at a certain point, but my isnad will be a bit different from yours, but it's the same hadith. Showing that the same hadith of Bukhari and Muslim, you have other isnad that can support that hadith. With me? So you have those works. So said those of those works. And you have others, Al-Mukhtar, Hadith Al-Mukhtara, also a large collection. Also this book is about in 12 volumes. So the next large collection. Now, so show that you find that many hadith. So hadith being graded as Sahih is not are not just only restricted to Bukhari and Muslim. Yes, others who have attempted what Bukhari and Muslim attempted, but they may not be to the same standard, but they try to fall in line with the condition of Bukhari and Muslim. They try to follow the condition of Bukhari and Muslim. So I show that. So this again is to show regarding the efforts of the ulama regarding what related to Bukhari and Muslim. That they are not the only ones who have compiled or put together books that the criteria, the requirement is everything is authentic. You have others who have made the same attempt, may not to be their standard, not maybe to be their standard, but the attempt is there. And we have these books as proof of this. So that's concerning. So, and we have other books. So those are of these books regarding of that attempt. The strongest regarding the collection will be Ibn Khuzaymah. The stronger one will be Ibn Khuzaymah amongst them. So that's concerning that matter. That topic, and one day we'll inshallah ta'ala maybe try to discuss that topic. In Ilm al-Hadith, that is an introduction to studying Hadith, they have a science that is called, or a subject within Ilm al-Hadith that is called, they are called concerning that, Tariq al-Sunnah. Or Tadween al-Sunnah. Now, so one is familiar with the works of the ulama regarding books of Hadith and its related topics. So knowing the history of the books of Hadith. So have an idea, so is knowing the books, the history regarding when and what time and who, and a description of books of Hadith from the early books up until recent time. So that's concerning introduction regarding additional works that attempt to follow the example of Imam Bukhari and also Imam Muslim alayhim rahmatullah. So we'll go back now to our original book, which is Al-Mukhtasar Al-Bukhari. Aywa.
بسم الله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله. قال المؤلف رحمه الله. Chapter 10. In how many, what sort of clothes, a woman should offer salah prayer. Al-Ikramah said, if she can cover all of her body with one garment, it is sufficient. That's an extra by the translation.
Hey, so that part what I mentioned concerning Ikramah, the call of Ikramah is not in.
It's not in the.
Yeah, that's something added. Hey, something. Hey, what?
Hadith number 244, narrated by Aisha radiallahu anha. Allah's Messenger sallallahu alayhi wasallam used to offer the Fajr prayer, and some believing women covered their veiling sheets, used to attend the Fajr prayer with him, and then they would return to their homes unrecognized.
So this hadith is mentioned regarding concerning the topic that he mentioned as a part of the discussion regarding Kitab al-Salat. So in matter that relates to Salat, that there are various masail that will be covered. Of those things that are covered in the bab of Salat is regarding matters relating to al-awra. So regarding what are the way and libas, what are the ways the person, or what is permissible for the person to dress regarding Salat. So in this discussion he mentioned regarding concerning of those things to discuss with the author mentioned that Imam that he mentioned fi kam tusalli al-mar'a fi thiyab. So he can somewhat put this discussion in the form of a question as the topic heading fi kam tusalli al-mar'a fi al-thiyab. So regarding concerning how many pieces of clothing should a woman wear while praying. So how many pieces of clothing is she to wear while praying? Then he mentioned the hadith of Aisha al-Mu'mineen regarding concerning the Prophet yusalli al-Fajr, that the Prophet that he had prayed as-salat ma'al-jama'. Vaqal fayashhad ma'ahu nisa. So also you find that females were pregnant min al-mu'minat, from the believing women. Then I mentioned mutalaffi'at. Then I mentioned mutalaffi'at, that they are wearing this type of clothing that I mentioned. So a clothing which is somewhat very wide type of clothing, a big fitting clothing. So they mentioned regarding ثم يرجعن إلى بيوتهن مَا يُعْرِفُهُنَّ أَحَدٍ. So they mentioned also that they prayed to the Prophet ﷺ, these female, that these women, that they prayed to the Prophet ﷺ, and they were in this type of clothing, of dress, that was somewhat fully covering of their body. And they mentioned regarding concerning this clothing, that they mentioned مُتَلَفَّعَات, meaning concerning something of the ulama mentioned that it covered from head to toe. It covered from head to toe. And then eventually after Salat they returned back to their houses before they were not being recognized by the men. So from this, Imam Bukhari rahimahullah kind of somewhat discussion or try to bring to attention regarding concerning a masala discussed between the ulama regarding how many pieces of clothing that a woman should wear while praying or in the salat. Dimension is the khilaf between the ulama. So on this matter, there's an ikhtilaf between the ulama on this matter regarding how much should be worn of those who mentioned, mentioned by Ikramah, she's allowed to wear one piece. So if it covers her entire, all the ears to be covered, then that becomes sufficient. That becomes sufficient for her salat. So if she was to wear one piece and cover everything, then that would be sufficient. So as mentioned by Ikramah. Then he mentioned, as mentioned by Ibn Lakin rahimullah, that اختلف العلماء في عدد ما تصلي فيه على مرأة من ثياب. That a difference between the ulama. Imam Bukhari mentioned regarding Ikramah, of those who mention, they mention قال طائفة, there's a group amongst the ulama who take the position تصلي في الدر والخمار, that she has to pray in two pieces of clothing. Of the ulama who take the position that the woman, she pray in two pieces of clothing, one ad-dira, a full dress, and one khimar, and something to cover her head. So that's a view taken by some. Of those who take this position that she's allowed to pray in two pieces of clothing, we have Maymuna, Mu'mineen, Aisha, and Salama. So these are three of the Mu'minat. Maymuna, Aisha, and Salama, that they take the position, and they are female, and the wife of the Prophet ﷺ, that a female should wear two pieces of clothing for the salah. One to cover the head, and the other to cover their full body. Another group of the ulama take the position that, and after them, amongst them also it is mentioned that Ibn Abbas also of this view, also of the Imam Malik, Layth ibn Sa'd, Awza'i, Al-Thawri, Abu Hanifa, and also Imam Shafi. So of the who of the view that a female regarding her salat, she is to pray in two pieces of garment. One to cover the khimar, to cover the head, and the other cover or to cover the remain of her body. So mention of the A'imma, we mention Malik, Layth ibn Sa'd, Awza'i, Thawri, Abu Hanifa, and Imam Shafi. So A'immat al-Arba, as they refer to as A'immat al-Arba, three from amongst the four, with the exception of Imam Ahmed. So you have Malik, Shafi, wa Abu Hanifa, alayhim rahmatullah, that of the view that a female should wear two pieces. The second position of the ulama on this matter, that I mentioned, ثلاثة أثواب, that she is to wear three pieces. They mention ad-dar, that again a long khimar, and also izar. So she also should wear khimar, headdress, like a bottom piece covered, and then the dar will cover all of that. So she have a bottom piece cover the bottom, the big dress, and also the khimar. That's the three pieces that of those that they all that she should wear. Of those who take this position, I mentioned Ibn Umar, Abdullah ibn Umar, and also Ubaidah, and also Ata. So those are the ulama who take the position that three pieces of garment to be worn. The third that I mentioned, another opinion that of the ulama mentioned to salli fi arba athwab, that she is to pray in four pieces of garment. So they mention one, the khimar, the khimar cover the head, then the big dress, izar, the pants, and also that she wear a big dress to cover all of that, from head to toe.
So the first one you came with the dalil, did the others have dalil for the reason?
Most of them are using the same hadith concerns what is said to be the dress that the mu'minat at that time would wear.
Okay.
So you have different aqwal based upon what was the practice then. So they come to different conclusion. So the thing concerning, is it sufficient for her just to wear, for example, just one garment, one piece that could cover everything? We said some hold that one piece is sufficient, as you mentioned here by Ikrama, isn't it? So you have from 1 to 4. So they mentioned Ibn Mundir rahimahullah, he mentioned regarding concerning that the matter regarding that, and trying to combine that one is wajib, that if it covers everything from head to toe, as they say. So if one piece that is loose fitting that can cover from her head to her toe, then that's wajib, that's a must. Everything 2 pieces, 3 pieces, 4 pieces is just additional mustahab. It is something we prefer, but not wajib. So of them trying to combine these aqwal that I mentioned, one piece that covers the entire body, all the areas to be covered, then that is wajib. Anything additional, it is preferred. For example, just for a man, if the man was to wear just a thobe that covers the entire body, but in today's time we have on what? We have on t-shirt, we have on this, we have on all these other extra pieces. So it said, min bab istihbab, and become the common practice of today that you wear all these things, but one that covers everything is sufficient. So if a man was to just say, stand, pray like your what's his name, or just praying this, what I'm wearing, and just that's it, nothing else below. You know what I mean? Then that's sufficient for his salah. So he would just pray in his thobe without anything else, nothing else. Then that's sufficient.
So what about clothing that's thin?
That's the next discussion.
We covered that already, brother.
So that's discussing concerning. We can have someone add regarding concerning the male, but said the discussion regarding the female. Concerning how many pieces of clothing they should wear in their salah. So we mentioned regarding concern that if the clothing is thin, we can see regarding concern of shurut regarding al-libas. If it is transparent, then that becomes nullify the person's salah. So that will be something the person cannot see through. That applies to male and female. So that's the discussion that he mentioned here. As we said, there's a discussion between the ulama. So Imam Bukhari rahimahullah trying to bring that discussion to attention regarding that this matter, a khilaf between the ulama. But Allahu alam, that qawl raja, that one is wajib, if it covers anything that's additional, it is mustahab. It is preferred, but not per se of wajib. Then Ibn al-Laqin rahimahullah, when he discussed that matter regarding how much pieces she should wear in salah, then with Ibn Hajar who mentioned, or Ibn Rajab rahimahullah, in his explanation of that called his explanation, Ibn Rajab, he mentioned regarding discussion regarding these that if she prays then this discussion regarding, then he mentioned Ibn Laqin rahimahullah, he mentioned another masala regarding concerning, as we discussed, what a woman reveals in the presence of men, foreign men, and women is 2 different matters. So a woman praying between women or not seen by men, she can reveal her face. Remember we discussed that. Yeah. So a female, like for example, most massages are, including this one, that a female have their complete different side of a masjid. We see nothing. So them praying between themselves, is not for her to cover her face. So she would, but if there's a system where, for example, when we pray Salatul Eid, and we're outdoor in public, and they're behind or to the side, and if you look, then they will, in that scenario, then those who are in niqab cover their face, because they can be seen, and they're in public. So even though it's salat, but the fact that it can be seen, then they would conceal their face. For those who wear niqab. With me? So the next matter that he discussed, Imam Laki rahimahullah, he discussed regarding concern this matter, that he mentioned regarding concern that he mentioned, وَأُجِيب ما روي عن المتقدم في ذلك بن عمرو بالثلاث أثواب أو أربع, that he was as a response to those who mentioned from the ulama of the past regarding concerning that the amount of clothing that you should cover with, 3 pieces or 4 pieces mentioned, إلا من طريق الاستحباب, that is something from by way of something which is preferred to be done. Nam, then I mentioned that then discuss the next masala that we just mentioned in general. Nam, that's that I mentioned because it is mentioned here that the matter regarding what now she's allowed to reveal if she's in the public arena. So we discussed if she's in salah, now she's outside salat in the public arena. So in salat could be in the masjid where they're completely partitioned off from men. Nam, or she's praying at home with her family. Now if she's in the public domain, what is to be covered? With me? So he mentioned that will be discussed further later, but he just discussed the matter regarding this. عند الشافعي أن العورة الحرة, that for a female who's a adult female, نم ما سوى الوجه والكفين, that she covered everything except her face and the wrist, her hand. So she's so everything to be covered with Imam Shafi rahimahullah regarding concerning that she's allowed to expose the face and the hands. Nam. Then I mentioned وروي عن أحمد, and this narration Imam Ahmad rahimahullah regarding أن كلها عورة حتى ظفرها, that everything of the female is an aura is to be covered, even her nails. Now, so you have the view regarding Imam Shafi that mentioned that what can be revealed is the face and hands, and Imam Ahmad rahimahullah will go now to the next where everything to be covered, even her nails, to the extent concerning everything to be covered, some of the ulama, even the eyes. Some mentioned can only expose one eyes. Nam, so you have that view regarding the ulama regarding concerning everything. Is the eyes also included to be covered or not? So you have that discussion between the ulama on that matter. So the general thing is regarding that she should. Imam Malik rahimahullah, that he discussed that if a female to pray makshuf, that he was to pray with her body is exposed, he mentioned a'adat fi waqtiha, she has to repeat her salat in his time. So she was to pray and she exposes herself, didn't cover properly, then her salat is invalid, and she has to what? Repeat her salat. She has to repeat her salat because she of someone exposed things that should not be exposed. So her salat is to be repeated. As for Abu Hanifa wa Thawri qal la tu'id abadan, that they mentioned that she does not repeat her salat. So that's concerning that matter in general. That's the matter in general. From the fawaid of the hadith, they mention one that in the time of the Prophet ﷺ, that female used to go out and pray in the masjid, and even Salatul Fajr. Nam. So female, so it shows that from those matter a permissibility for them to go out and pray the salawat in the masajid, in the jama'ah. That for the female is something to be discussed later further. It is something for them, it is something which is jaiz, not wajib. So for the female to go to the masjid and pray with the imam, it is something which is permissible, but it's not a must upon them. It's not a must upon them to attend the masjid and to pray their salah. But from the hadith they show it is something that it did exist in the time of the Prophet ﷺ, where female go out and pray, but they will ensure that they're covered properly, and also they someone will leave immediately. Now they'll leave immediately. So that's concerning that matter. Yeah, some other masail that is related to that hadith. But Imam Al-Bukhari rahimahullah, when he discussed the hadith after a point that you were mentioned, that we didn't pick up on before, that at times that Imam Al-Bukhari rahimahullah in his explanation, he will mention the hadith that is in Bukhari, but also other sources. So other sources regarding it, he mentioned, for example, consider had the hadith أخرجه أيضا المسلم والأربعة, meaning what? أخرجه مسلم والأربعة. What does that mean? The hadith that we just read is collected by
Abu Dawud,
Muslim والأربعة. What does that mean?
and tell me.
We're at, you with me?
Yeah.
So what does that mean? تفضل. جيد. So that's what it means. So the hadith, the same hadith, could say the hadith that hadith in the Kutub al-Sitta. So I mentioned أيضا المسلم والأربعة. So those are considered, they are referred to as Kutub al-Sitta. So they mentioned that al-Arba, as mentioned, that Abu Dawud, Tirmidhi, Nasa'i, Ibn Majah, they are al-Arba. So that's the benefit that also comes with this book of the Fawaid, that you'll mention other sources of the hadith. You'll mention other sources of the hadith, in particular Kutub al-Sitta. So the hadith that is in Bukhari, where else can you find this hadith? From amongst Kutub al-Sitta. Both of the Aywa.
There's a footnote here, I just want to read it. It is agreed by the majority of religious scholars that a woman, while offering salah, should cover herself completely except her face, and it is better that she should cover her hands with gloves or cloth, etc. But her feet
Repeat again from the top.
It is agreed by the majority of religious scholars that a woman, while offering salah, should cover herself completely except her face, and it is better that she should cover her hands with gloves or cloth. But her feet must be covered either with a long dress, or she must wear socks to cover her feet. This verdict is based on the Prophet's statement in Abu Dawud.
So that's a comment on that. So that's we have commented on that before. So that's to repeat after the adhan, inshallah. Alhamdulillah, wassalatu wassalamu rasulillah wa ba'd. So just based upon that footnotes that is mentioned here, so the footnotes can I mentioned that the areas to be covered for the female in salah. So that it discussed regarding the areas to be covered for the female in salah. So of the thing that he includes regarding, because they use the word ittifaq al-jumhur, which comes from that's the dhahab al-jumhur, that majority of ulama have taken a certain position. They mention of that position include that she's to cover her feet. I think there's a shy that you. So we have discussed regarding concern that for the female regarding that the garment that she wears, that are what to be covered in salat, does it include also the feet? In a sense of, is it a must? Her dress is long, goes down to her feet. But when she goes into ruku, maybe when she goes into sujood, that her feet may be exposed. So is it that she has to wear something to make sure that the ear is also covered and and not exposed? So wearing a socks. Wearing a socks. So that the hadith regarding concern that is mentioned or cited regarding concern that that hadith also regarding that covering of the feet for the female, the hadith fihi kalam. The discussion between the ulama regarding its authenticity. And Allahu A'lam, the hadith is not authentic, going back to the Prophet ﷺ regarding the female covering her feet. But more so the statement of the Sahabi, but not the statement of the Prophet ﷺ regarding it's a must. So she, yes, wears something that would be full length, cover her, but not a must that she has to put on a pair of socks when praying. It's not a must. So that's in brief. So even though it's qawl of, as I mentioned, Jumhur, or whoever may take that view, but the hadith that is used, it's on the question. You might find some of the ulama of recent may authenticate the hadith, but the hadith is on the discussion. The hadith is on the discussion. So that inshallah ta'ala will end for today, and we'll continue next week. وبالله تعالى توفيق وهذا السبيل.